Fantastic. I see everyone is now sitting in their respective grade level group. Thank you so much for doing that so quickly. Okay, so modeling research skills through questions and keywords. Since we know that research skills are not intuitive for students and these must be taught, modeled, and practiced, we're going to spend a little time to talk about some strategies that we can teach our students. What is also great is that using databases helps us to teach research skills while also supporting reading, vocabulary, and content learning. As we move through the workshop, think about specific curriculum content or units that your grade may be currently working on and how you can connect students conducting research for that unit. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about basic research process for grades 3 to 5. As you can see here, it's a few steps. We also have this basic research process guide, which is it's available in the PD website that you are accessing so that you can download it if you'd like, and you can use it as a reference. You can use it in your classroom. But it basically helps to give students an easy to follow guide about basic steps in the research process, which is really helpful. So here are 4 simple steps that you can use to help guide your students to follow as they do research. So number 1, actually, would somebody like to read them? Okay, yeah. All right, great. Yeah, absolutely. So number 1, as you said, is ask focused questions related to the topic. Number 2, identify keywords. 3, search in a database. 4, record learning. Thank you so much for reading that. Okay, so this simple process guide, as I mentioned, is available on the PD website, so you can download it. You can print it and post it in your classroom, or you can use the digital version for sharing. Now, does anyone have anything they'd like to add or ask about the basic research process guide? No questions? Okay, let's move along then. So, next up, we're going to be helping students to turn broad topics into more focused questions is also a helpful strategy. We can model this for our students. For example, let's take space, which I think is a current unit in the 3rd grade that they're studying, and turn that broad topic into a focused question, such as what makes Saturn different from Earth, right? That's a little bit more specific. So, what do you notice about the difference between topics and questions? Anyone? Chris? Yes, absolutely. More focused questions help students deepen their thinking. It's more specific than just a broad topic alone. Exactly. Terrific, Chris. It helps to, with deeper level thinking. All right. So we're going to work on now talk about 3 key questions, kind of like a little approach that helps guide our students further in the research process. So there are 3 questions basically. The first one is, what are my 3 research questions about my topic? What are the key words I can use? And what did I learn? Now, I have for you here also this graphic organizer that you can use for your class. You can use it with your students. I also have some printed versions at your tables if you'd like to use that, during the session. But basically, in the first section, you can help guide your students in developing research questions. So again, thinking through a more specific lens about what they want to know about the broad research topic they are working on. Then they can move on in the second section to listing the keywords that they've identified in relation to their research questions. Now, we will be looking at keywords a little bit more closely in the next section. So, students can use this graphic organizer to help them get a good starting point for what to search for in databases. They can use this 3 key question graphic organizer to list out what they learned once they've conducted some searches. It's also helpful to include the source of where they found the information. So listing the sources with checkboxes at somewhere on the form is also really helpful. This is just one form or one template, but you can obviously create different formats. It's also a good idea to show your students one database at a time so it doesn't become overwhelming at the start when they're first learning about research skills. Okay, do we have any questions or comments about using the 3 key question graphic organizer to help guide your students? No questions? Okay, let's move on then. So the next up here is keyword search process. So with this one, we also have another graphic organizer, which is right here. And we will walk through this in a moment. So before we walk through it though, it's really helpful to teach students the role of keywords or the importance of keywords, and really teaching them that it really helps us to narrow down our searches, our search results, right? So if we use long questions or phrases in our searches, the results that we get may not be quite what we need. Using keywords or important words that relate to our research question or questions help return results that are more specific to what we are looking for. Okay, so a good tip to share with students before they actually start doing any research on databases is to have them do some brainstorming first to help identify as many related words as possible that come to mind in relation to their research. Then they can narrow the list down to about 3 to 5 specific words from their list. The graphic organizer here, shown here on the smartboard, and I also printed out some copies and left at your tables for you to refer and use during the session as well. And again, this graphic organizer is also available for you on the PD website, where you can download it, print it, and or use the digital version. The Word version is included so that you guys can modify it as needed. We can also teach students to think of and or find synonyms or related words for the main keywords that they've identified. Related words can also help yield effective search results when we are not getting the results that we want. So once your students have listed out the main keywords and their synonyms, you can help guide them in how to choose which of those might be the best keywords to try. They can list those on the bottom portion here and use them when conducting their database searches. Okay, do we have any questions or comments about using the keyword search organizer to help guide your students in their research? No questions? Okay, terrific. So we will move on. Next up is talking about troubleshooting and teaching our students how to troubleshoot whenever their keyword searches are not yielding the results that they'd like. So we also there is another sort of poster or flyer that you can access via the PD website as well. You can download a copy there, print it, and use it in your classroom. So this particular flyer really encourages and shows students what they can do in the research process. Like, it gives them a step-by-step guide as to how to get effective keyword searches. So we can give them some troubleshooting guidance when their searches don't yield the results that they want. So here are some tips for troubleshooting, which are: check the spelling, because misspelled words can lead to 0 results on most instances. Try using synonyms or variations, as we talked about, and really understanding that trial and error is the process for this particular part in research. Searching requires experimentation, and if one set of keyword fails, we need to keep refining our search with better terms. Okay, so these tips are also listed here on the step-by-step keyword searching guide. So it's right here in step 5. It gives students some troubleshooting tips. Okay, does anyone have any questions or comments about helping students troubleshoot databases searches? Okay, terrific. I guess if you guys don't have any questions right now, that's okay. And if you have any questions that come to mind later, or even after this workshop has ended, just feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Okay, moving along. So, how can we support student researchers? Teaching students research skills takes practice, as we can understand. Here are some easy things we can do as educators to support our student researchers. Can someone read them out loud for everybody? All right. Yes, Mary, go ahead. Okay. Provide guiding questions. Provide keyword lists and access to thesauruses to facilitate database searches. Use graphic organizers and model thinking. Fantastic. Thank you, Mary. Any other ideas that you all can think of on how else we can support our students? Okay. All right. Those are some good ideas. Okay. And any questions on how to support them based on what we've learned so far? No, everything seems good. Okay, terrific. So if there are none as of right now, we will move on. And this slide actually is also available for you to download on the PD website as a separate slide or page of its own so that you can use as well for reference. Okay, now let's take about 5 minutes or so to pause and reflect on what we have learned and discussed so far. Let's think about possibly what is easy or challenging about brainstorming research questions to help guide our students' research. What challenges do you potentially see in implementing this in the classroom? Okay, so let's take a few minutes to think about that, reflect, and let's share our thoughts and ideas. Okay, great. Those are some great, yep. Yeah, that's great feedback. Okay, that sounds good. Any other thoughts? No? All right. Well, we're going to take a pause there. And up next, we will have coming up next is our database demonstration. So we will take a look at that in just a moment. Sit tight.